Hi. Nice to meet you. Hi. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Hi. Pleasure to meet you.
You got it. You have to put it. We're here to I got it. Okay. Hello, we're Aobin, and we're introducing Refresco. I'm Alondra Castro, the CEO.
I'm Isabella, the secretary.
I'm Bobby, the CFO.
I'm Naomi, the CMO.
I'm Oscar Sid, the CTO.
So, in my whole life, I've always had a pet in it, and I've always had dogs in my life. So, I've seen firsthand how summer heat affects them. So, whether it was dogs with flat faces struggling to breathe because of the summer heat, or dogs with thick coats struggling to be out for long periods of time because their coat is so thick. So for pet owners, the fear of their pet experiencing these heat-related illnesses is real. In fact, 1 in 7 pets experience these heat-related illnesses. And as of 2024, 65.1 million U.S. households own a pet dog, meaning that 9.3 million dogs are at risk of experiencing these heat-related illnesses annually. And they're not just statistics, they are pets who care for us, and we have to treat them with the best we can. And also, so with temperatures rising and summers being more intense, the need for a solution has never been more urgent.
Our solution is Refresco. A cooling vessel will be as lightweight as possible, meanwhile using fabric that could bring out water. Refresco will keep in mind the little teacup doggies and the dogs that will be as tall as me. And it will also keep in mind of wider body shapes and even the big tummies by using a stretchy elastic to fit around more tightly.
So these are the prices of all of our product sizes, with the smallest being $45.50 and the largest being $54.50.
This is Grace. She's 23 years old and she primarily uses Instagram and Gmail to communicate with others. She lives in a more warmer, hot climate area and she struggles with keeping her dog safe because of the area she lives in.
Our unique value proposition is to provide a full and comfortable fit using a elastic fabric underneath adjustable to size. We also have double V-tips and a secure and strong attachment point for a leash, and we'll have a pocket for a tracking device for use for peace of mind in the user. Our competitors are Herda and Canada Goose. We all use evaporative cooling in our cooling vests, but only our part and can breeches cover the back of the dog as well. We're also the only ones that provide a technical attachment point for the vest.
This is our ad timeline. For the very first 10 seconds, we will address the effects that heat has on dogs and why it's a problem. From there, we will introduce ourselves as a business, our product, and its purpose. That will then transition into introducing Refresco's additional features, how it's used, and why we use them. And lastly, for the last 10 seconds, we will showcase our logo, slogan, and how viewers can contact us.
Did you know that heat can be dangerous for dogs? Overheating can lead to dehydration, heat stroke, and even serious health risks. But many pet owners don't realize the signs until it's too late. At Aobin, we believe every dog deserves to stay safe and comfortable in the heat. That's why we created Refresco, the cooling vest designed to protect your furry friend from overheating. Refresco works by using evaporative cooling technology. Just soak it in water, wring it out, and let your pup enjoy instant relief. With additional features such as a double D-ring, elastic waistband, securing pocket and clips, safety has never been easier. It's perfect for walks, hikes, or just lounging in the sun. Keep your best friend cool and safe. Try Refresco today, because if they're happy, we're happy.
So when visitors first see our landing page, the first thing that they are introduced with is an introduction to who we are as a business, as well as what Refresco is. That is then followed by our vision, mission, and value statements, and of course a section for them to leave us a message. In this section, there's a space for their name, email so we can get back to them, and of course, the section for them to leave their desired message to us.
So this is how we'll get, keep, and grow our customers. We'll get our customers through our Instagram and our landing page. We keep them by posting blogs on pet awareness on how to help prevent feed-related illnesses, and then also post updates on our product on our Instagram and our website. And then we will also grow by having a referral program where customers can go to our website, get a code, and they can share it to their friends, family members, or others, so that they can get a certain percentage discount on the first purchase, as well as their friends. And then we also have customer advocacy, where customers, if they like our products, can give feedback to others and share our products with others.
For definition of success, we want to have enough sent to the landing page prove that people want our product. We also want to have positive reviews when we start selling our product to show that our product is effective. We also want some entry in pet shops so we can start working with them. Our assumptions are a high growth rate of 7%, that invest would be the preferred way of going over other ways of going, and that we have enough social media engagement to have fighters like purpose.
For our market sizing, in TAM, we expect units of 9.8 million to be sold and a revenue of 498 million. In SAM, units of 1.2 million sold with revenue of 59 million, and a SOM in market share of 4.70% and a revenue of 2.5 million.
So these will be our startup costs, with the biggest one being our starting inventory, and the total being about $383,000. And these will be our costs for our first year, with the biggest cost being the marketing, and the total being $1,290,000. And then these will be the costs to make and distribute a medium-sized unit, with the biggest cost being the labor, the total being $25.53, and the profit margin being 48.94%.
In our key metrics, we expect 2.5 million of yearly revenue, with 50,000 vests sold yearly, and 150 website visits, with at least 4.5 ratings or higher. In our social media, we want to expect 10,000 followers with at least 500 likes per post, and we expect a growth rate of 7%.
At Aobin, we believe that our dogs are more than just pets, they're family. They deserve the best care possible, especially when it comes to their health, comfort, and safety. With Refresco, you're not just protecting your dog from the heat, you're also giving them the freedom to enjoy their life to the fullest no matter the weather. So let's keep our dogs safe and cool in the summer with Refresco, because if they're happy, we're happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Presentation. I'm just a little confused on your guys' branding because I see you guys are Aobin. Am I pronouncing that right? Aobin?
Yeah.
And then you guys transition into Refresco, which is the product. Why not name it? Why not brand it Refresco? Because I mean, like for example, I'll give you guys an example from my company. We're Tony's Fusion Foods, but I don't use Tony's Fusion Foods to sell my branded item, which is Netties, right? So it's like. There's a little confusion on like what it is that you guys are selling, like the brand. I'm like, what is it? Is it Aobin or is it Refresco? That's why I think the branding needs to be a little bit more clear on that. And then again, the revenues. I think you guys need to work a little bit more on that. Good tone and bodily movement. And I've noticed across all the pitches today, the assumptions need to be a little bit more clear, right? Like, when I'm assuming something in business, I assume I could sell X amount of money this year to make X amount of revenue, right? So, or X amount of product to make X amount of money. So, I think we need to be a little bit more clear on the assumption side of like, okay, based off our calculations, we assume that we can potentially sell, 50,000 units to bring us in $2,500, right? So it's just getting a little bit more clear on the assumptions.
Yeah, made a good comment on the other issues we had today. Give you guys a little more on your guys' prices, because you guys also make it like 25, and you guys' actual price was fixed at around $50. So just give you guys a little more wiggle room, so like go with discounts, which you guys don't know how they would react to the product.
Good job overall. The closing statement and catchphrase, you Spot on. Very good. That was excellent. Everyone did a great job. What I would have loved, since you passed these out, the fabric, this is what you're going to use on the vest, correct?
Yeah.
So if you would have gone through each kind of like layer of what the material is, I think that's a real selling point, right? So I saw what you had here, but you didn't really go into like this material that you gave us.
Yeah. For right now, we're prototyping. We recently got that fabric, and so we've been prototyping it, putting it in water, wringing it out, testing it out by just putting it in the sun in general, and also putting it in the freezer, refrigerators to see what is going to keep it cooling. But for right now, we're not totally confident on our fabrics, so we decided to just give you guys kind of a vision of what it could possibly look like if we do stick on that route with that specific fabric.
Perfect. That's a great response. So in your presentation, I would just go through what you're currently working on in the prototype, just explaining what we're looking at, right? So if you're more like, hey, we're going to go through more products that have like dry quickly and also can be freezed and used, and this will last up to X amount of hours after finding out the material, holds coolness, or if you're going to have like gel packs attached to this. Is that kind of an idea too?
Yes, we have been given the idea of gel packs, but for right now, we're working on just the idea of wringing it out. But in the future, I can say that we will definitely see other options that we can have besides the wringing out of water.
Perfect. Okay. By the way, your ad campaign, I thought was very inviting. Like, it was really well done. I really wanted to see what your product was about. So, kudos to the whole team effort on that one. It was very good. It felt welcoming. I really, it made me feel like your company cares about dogs and well-being. In your closing statement, your opening statement, that was really good. The only thing, positive feedback here, is the brand product separation. I got a little confused on that. I don't know, something to think about. I think Rough Fresno's great, or even the name. I just want to work through that a little bit. It was a little confusing. Other than that, I thought it was a really good presentation. Everyone did a good job, but all the other judges did good.
Did you see Rough Fresno? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of want to try to comment on why we kind of chose Aobin as their name. I think Fresno was more just chosen for this specific product because I don't think we really want to just limit ourselves to just cleaning it up.
Okay.
I think so. We didn't really want to shoot Rough Fresco because Rough Fresco, rough Fresco, cool. And we don't really just want to limit ourselves just to that. So I think that's our we choose Rough Fresco as our.
I do have another question. For your contact us, is that the letter O or is that a number O?
Number.
0.
The 0? Right. It is, even with the line across, I don't know if people would, I don't know what shows the judges, would you put a 0 or would you put the letter O for official if you were trying to get a hold of it? Even if you saw the line through the O.
I would do a no.
Yeah.
Instead of a 0. If somebody might not get it right.
I mean, I knew that, but your view, if someone's inquiring, you might get a bounce back from that email. So then your customers won't be able to contact you. So if you could make it the letter O, just so there's no confusion. Other than that,
very sharp presentation. I love the visuals. The ad was great. I will say, I noticed that for your social media marketing, you're sticking with Instagram. The dog community is huge, all ages. So I would definitely look into other channels such as TikTok, Facebook, even YouTube for the ad itself. And kind of following underneath that, we are in the Central Valley. Fresno is very, very hot. So use that to your advantage, especially when it comes to testing your product.
I I would say, first of all, my apologies because I haven't been a very responsive mentor, and Mr. Mason wanted me to work with you guys. It just was a very tough fall for me with a lot of projects, and then other things, but I'm still available. One of the things I talked to you about was the chillo, and I think you're kind of looking at that a little bit with these fabrics and wetting them and testing things out. I think it's ultimately going to come down to you've identified a real problem. It's a real problem. You've identified it, and now it's like finding a few different prototypes and attempts at trying things out. So that's still, to me, the presentation is wonderful. Your whole meeting the curriculum goals, you've done a great job. You guys did well. But I still think the product, we've got to get this product thing figured out and get something that works and can be tested. I would also say today, I don't know if you guys were sitting in the back of any of the other groups that came through or if you were in class and you came down, but Mr. Fitzgerald's going to have this available to watch. Maybe watch some of the comments because there was 1, 2, 3 other products instead of services being presented. So a lot of the feedback applies to you already without repeating it now, but I hate to have you be cheated from hearing that because there was some good stuff brought out that you would use as well in prototyping and narrowing down your design and all of the different things. Very similar approach, yeah.
Very good presentation. Good job. Can we go to the first page of your presentation? I think it was this. And so the first thing caught my eye here was that image right there. That looks like a cow to me. It doesn't look like a dog. We're talking about dogs. Well, does that in some way? I mean, as if I were a customer, I would look at that and think that was a cow, and it may just be weird. But consider making your visuals consistent and reflective of what your idea is. I do like how confident all of you sounded. You came out and you know your stuff, and it helps to know your stuff as you're presenting. But just look at that and see if maybe I'm just weird, or does that really look like a cow, and maybe you should make that look more like a dog. And then your ad was great. I just want to compliment you on the ad. I thought that it was lighthearted. It was fun. Whoever loves dogs will enjoy the ad. That you had that little dog that wouldn't stay quiet at all. That was fun. That was a fun way to pass your message across. So the impression that I get is you're still working on the actual mechanism of your product. So how does the cooling happen? You don't know yet, I'm assuming, right? You're still trying to work on, like, do you soak it in water and wring it, and is that enough to cool it? Do you have to freeze it for it to cool? You're still figuring that out, correct?
Yes.
Have you narrowed it down to maybe 1 or 2 key points that you might be zooming in on to say, well, maybe we need to freeze it or just wring it, or what are your ideas so far?
From my personal experiments with these fabrics, I found that freezing it kept it cool longer, but also the original idea for these fabrics is to have the first 3, the mesh, and then it's 2 swimwear linings. So our original idea was to get those wet, wring it out, and then it's a neoprene under, so it'll absorb the water, but the dog can still feel it cool without getting it totally soaked. But I found that the neoprene, it's too thick, or the first 2 fabrics are too thin when it comes to the water, so it doesn't completely soak through. And also to get the full thing wet and refrigerate it, freeze it, it is kind of heavy as well, and the neoprene, it absorbs the water. It kind of just rolls off. I guess it takes a really long time for it to absorb water. So
I wonder if that, like when you get shipped something that has to come frozen, like how the ice, not the ice packs, but the meshy thing that they put in the packaging that holds that temperature, right? I wonder if you guys play around with materials like that, if that would help at all. And then how do you avoid the dog getting hypothermia, right? If gets too cold now, and now the dog's walking around with that vest, and it's getting too cold. So I think you have some work cut out for you there, just figuring out the balance between like how do you cool the dog down, but not freeze the dog or have the dog get too cold. Right?
Give me so a minute. So I believe I gave you a vest a couple weeks ago. Is there any progress on that?
I have it for right now, and I found that the front part of the vest, because I was looking at the way it's cut, and the front part of the vest, it's kind of loose, and it doesn't, without hurting the dog's shoulders, to make it tighter to fit the actual chest, it's too loose for my personal experience. So I'm not too sure yet.
I mean, it was made for a very small dog. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you improve to make it more form-fitting?
I think the front part, it was kind of low too. It didn't go up to like the actual chest of the dog. So I think if we had a prototype like that, where it could go actually up to the chest, it'd make it easier for it to feel more attached to the dog, and also the cooling, so it could go all around the whole body.
Good response.
Do you want